I felt shallow because my ex-husband and I broke up for money issues. I found out I had lupus at the time. I couldn't make money because I had lupus and had to cancel the show.
Did you have to pay alimony?
Yes, I had to pay alimony. I was very, very angry about that, but it was because we had an existing prenup and postnup.
Then what made you angry about it if it had already been an agreement?
Because I wanted to renege. I wanted him to renege. I'm going to be honest.
I'm not mad at you.
I thought he should say no. I mean, I went through this phase like, ooh, men are the new bitches.
Right.
I went through that whole phase.
When most celebrity marriages end, the story usually sounds familiar. Two people announce their separation, legal papers are signed, and eventually both individuals move on with their lives. But Toni Braxton's story is far more complicated than that. In fact, years after her divorce from her ex-husband, Keri Lewis, Toni revealed details about what really happened behind closed doors. And some of those revelations left fans completely stunned. What many people didn't realize is that even after their marriage officially ended, the emotional connection between them remained so strong that they continued seeing each other for nearly 2 years after the divorce. But that was only the beginning of a much deeper story, involving illness, financial struggles, heartbreak, and a painful question that Toni has carried with her for years. And once you hear everything she went through during that period of her life, you may never look at her divorce the same way again.
What, Tamar? You had me thinking I was crazy too. I see, you know what? It felt like a surviving Tamar moment. They always talk about how, women is being mentally abused and physically abused. Men get mentally and physically abused too. Cause she just socked me in my jaw before. You feel me? And I'm sure Jeremy and before and got their head cracked, okay? And them gas station pills, yeah, you gotta do something to stay afloat.
Toni Braxton has always been known as one of the most successful voices in R&B history. With multiple Grammy Awards, chart-topping albums, and countless hit songs, she built a career that millions of artists could only dream of. To fans watching from the outside, it often appeared as though she had everything: fame, success, a beautiful family, and a thriving career. But as many people eventually discover, success doesn't make someone immune to personal struggles. Behind the scenes, Toni was facing challenges that would eventually place enormous pressure on both her life and her marriage. While many celebrity divorces become tabloid headlines filled with rumors and accusations, Toni's story is different because she has been remarkably honest about her experiences. And the more she has shared, the more fans have begun to understand just how difficult that chapter of her life truly was.
I confess that my breakdown between your mother and I has caused emotional unbalance in the family.
Most of the time, I don't like my family. Everyone in my family.
Take a breath.
Everybody. I feel like I'm angry at everybody in my family. I don't like my family. They weren't my family. My husband became my boyfriend.
Right.
And we were attempting to salvage the relationship again. And we dated for a good 1.5 years, almost 2 years after we got a divorce, like immediately.
Did the kids know you were dating?
I don't think the kids knew we were divorced.
One of the most surprising revelations Toni made was that her relationship with Keri Lewis didn't immediately end when their divorce became official. During a candid discussion, she admitted that after legally ending their marriage, they continued dating each other for approximately 1.5 years, possibly even closer to 2 years. Think about how unusual that sounds. Most people assume divorce creates a clean break between two individuals. Once the marriage ends, both people begin separate lives. But reality is often much messier than that. For Toni and Keri, years of shared memories, family experiences, and emotional attachment couldn't simply disappear overnight. Even though they were no longer husband and wife on paper, the emotional bond remained strong enough that they kept trying to make things work. What's particularly fascinating about this revelation is how relatable it is for many people who have experienced long-term relationships. Ending a marriage doesn't automatically erase love, history, or emotional connection. In some cases, people continue holding on to hope that things can be repaired. Others struggle with the idea of completely letting go of someone who was once their closest companion. Toni's honesty offered viewers a rare glimpse into the complicated reality that often follows divorce. Instead of presenting a simple narrative where everything ended immediately, she acknowledged that moving on was a gradual and painful process. And perhaps the most shocking part of all was that even their children reportedly weren't fully aware of the divorce at first. Imagine how complicated the family dynamics must have been during that period as Toni and Keri attempted to navigate life somewhere between marriage and separation.
Now, before anyone says anything, please let it be known and let it be clear that as I am in this journey and in this process, and as I'm healing and trying to understand all of this stuff, that it feels really good to have a family member behind.
Said to me, Toni, when you make it, you can help us come on. So I always try to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life, and I never used to say it. I never used to say it.
But while the continued relationship after divorce surprised many fans, the circumstances leading to the breakup may have been even heartbreaking. According to Toni, one of the major turning points in her marriage came after she was diagnosed with lupus. For those unfamiliar with the condition, lupus is a serious autoimmune disease that can affect numerous parts of the body and dramatically impact a person's daily life. Symptoms can include severe fatigue, pain, inflammation, and a variety of other health complications. For someone with a demanding career like Toni's, managing lupus became an enormous challenge. The diagnosis didn't just affect her physically, it changed nearly every aspect of her life.
Well, first of all, I was very disappointed in finding out via social media because our family is closer than that. And to have someone else regurgitate that story to us. Well, or I can only speak for me. But for someone else to tell me the story of something that happened to my own family is very disheartening.
Before her illness, Toni had built her career around constant activity, recording music, touring, performing, attending events, and maintaining the demanding schedule expected of a global superstar. But lupus forced her to slow down. There were times when she simply couldn't maintain the same pace she once had. Projects had to be canceled, commitments became more difficult to fulfill, opportunities were missed, and as her ability to work consistently declined, another problem began emerging: financial pressure. Money can be one of the most significant sources of stress in any relationship, regardless of whether the couple is famous or not. When financial circumstances change dramatically, it often exposes weaknesses that may have already existed beneath the surface. Toni explained that once her health began affecting her career and income, many aspects of her life started changing. The financial stability that had once seemed secure became less certain, and according to Toni, those changes placed considerable strain on their marriage. While she never suggested that money was the only reason for their divorce, she clearly indicated that the combination of health struggles and financial challenges created a difficult environment for the relationship to survive.
However, what happened after the divorce may have shocked fans even more than the breakup itself. During the discussion, Toni revealed that she was required to pay alimony to her ex-husband. For many viewers, this was completely unexpected. Celebrity divorces often involve substantial financial settlements, but hearing Toni openly discuss paying alimony generated a great deal of conversation. What made the situation especially difficult was the timing. At the same moment she was battling a serious illness and dealing with reduced earning power, she also faced ongoing financial obligations related to the divorce settlement. Toni admitted that she struggled emotionally with the arrangement. Even though there had been legal agreements in place, including a prenuptial agreement and other established terms, she found herself feeling frustrated. From her perspective, she was already fighting a difficult health battle while watching aspects of her career change in ways she never anticipated. Adding financial obligations to that situation only increased the emotional burden she was carrying. While she acknowledged that the agreement was legally binding, she was also honest about how difficult it felt to continue making those payments during one of the most challenging periods of her life. Yet perhaps the most emotional moment of the entire conversation came when Toni discussed the deeper feelings she carried regarding her illness and marriage. As she reflected on that chapter of her life, she became visibly emotional and admitted something that resonated with many viewers. She revealed that there were times when she felt as though her husband had left her because of her lupus diagnosis. Whether that perception was entirely accurate or not, the emotional impact of that belief was undeniable. Imagine facing a life-changing illness and simultaneously wondering if it played a role in the collapse of your marriage. That's an incredibly painful thought for anyone to carry. What made this moment so powerful was its vulnerability. Behind the fame, awards, and public image was a woman grappling with feelings of rejection, loss, and uncertainty. Many people facing chronic illnesses experience similar fears. They worry about becoming a burden. They wonder whether relationships will survive the challenges that illness creates. Toni's willingness to share those feelings gave viewers a rare look at the emotional reality behind her public persona. It wasn't just a story about divorce anymore. It became a story about resilience, self-worth, and the psychological impact of major life changes. Fortunately, Toni's journey didn't end with heartbreak. Over the years, she appears to have found a renewed sense of happiness and stability. She spoke positively about her relationship with Birdman and made it clear that despite public speculation and occasional headlines, their connection remains strong. Fans may remember the media attention surrounding her misplaced engagement ring, which sparked rumors and questions about their status. However, Toni reassured everyone that their relationship was still intact. Her comments suggested that she has found someone who understands and supports her through life's challenges. Looking back, Toni Braxton's story is about far more than celebrity gossip or divorce headlines. It's about what happens when life doesn't go according to plan. It's about how illness can change everything in an instant. It's about the pressure that financial struggles can place on relationships. It's about the emotional complexity of trying to let go of someone you once loved deeply. And perhaps most importantly, it's about finding the strength to keep moving forward even after experiencing some of life's most painful moments. Her story serves as a reminder that the public rarely sees the full picture. While fans often focus on fame and success, every person has private battles that remain hidden from view. Toni's willingness to discuss her struggles openly has allowed others to see the human side of her journey, and in doing so, she has shared a message that resonates far beyond the world of entertainment. Because at its core, this isn't just a story about Toni Braxton. It's a story about love, loss, resilience, and the difficult process of rebuilding your life when everything you thought was certain suddenly changes. So what do you think about Toni Braxton's revelations? Were you surprised to learn that she continued dating her ex-husband after their divorce? Do you think health and financial struggles can dramatically change the course of a marriage? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more celebrity stories, untold Hollywood moments, and the fascinating truths behind the headlines. Until next time, thanks for watching.